Mr. Toddy Mac. And this is going to tie into a topic later on when we talk about Ghostbusters. But I was curious to see what you guys thought of this. Shout out to JB. He sent me this video this morning, and I was like, this man is wild. But you know what? What else can we expect from old Toddy Mac there? All right, so let's take a look at Toddy Mac here, talking about his journey into digital product versus physical product. Probably need some sound.
I'll take digital, which is better than nothing. And here's the thing that's weird. My wife does this to me too, because she doesn't get it. She's like, why does anybody not want something? Why does anybody not want something? It's not in their hands, it's not physical. Why would anybody, it's not there, right? Here's the reality for everybody who says that, and that's mostly old people. You're all doing it. You're all doing it anyways. It's weird to me that you're doing something, yet you're surprised that other people are doing it. So here's how I know you're doing it. Pull out your phone, go to your gallery, and show me a picture of your grandkid or your son. Now here's what I'll say. That's not your fucking real baby either. It's a digital image of your real baby or son or wife. But when you look at it, it puts a smile on your face and it gives you joy. So why can't you transfer that to toys? The answer is you can, right? Just stop it, all right? At some level, let people, like, I don't mind if people don't want to collect what I have. Just step out of the side and let people who like it at the buffet just put it on their plate. If you don't like broccoli at the grocery store, walk on by it. Just walk on by it and put in the vegetables you like. But I never see anybody at the grocery store ever stop, go get the manager, tell them to come back here, go, how dare you have that broccoli? I don't like it. I personally don't like it. Friends have told me it's not very good. I don't want my kids consuming it. I don't even want it. No, you just walk by. I think everything you consume should be like vegetables at the grocery store. Walk on by if you don't like it. But here's what I don't do, ladies and gentlemen. I hate Brussels sprouts. And here's what I don't do. I don't go to BrusselsSprouts.com and go, fuck, I hate this shit, right? I just don't eat it. I don't take it. I don't put it in my thing. I don't go to any sites about Brussels sprouts, and I just don't consume it. I buy what I like, and I spend money on things that I like, and let the Brussels sprout people do their thing, right? So if you like
BrusselsSprouts.com right now.
Oh, that's, if I can have nothing.
All right, so I feel like you guys are on the same page. I'm reading your comments as I'm watching this, and I come from two sides here, right? I always go back to the example of Boogie Nights, if you guys remember that movie. Boogie Nights, there's a scene in it with Burt Reynolds, and it's very much the Blockbuster Netflix argument. And in that scene, Burt Reynolds is like, somebody's telling him, oh, we're gonna start making adult films but putting them on VHS, so that way you can watch them at home. And he was like, what are you talking about? He's like, these are films. These are for the theater. Nobody's ever going to watch that at home. That's not a thing. And I think about that sometimes. I think about that, like, what is being said here in current 2024 that to us sounds loony, but it's literally just taking, you need somebody with vision to be able to say, like, oh, this is the future, right? So I think about that sometimes. However, when it comes to collecting, I don't see the digital product as something that people are going to say, I'm going to spend $100 on something I can't touch, you know? And that's where the NFT argument comes in of like, oh, you guys see the screen? Oh, you can, right? Oh, it's like a stock. Like I can't see a stock. I can't touch a stock, but I buy a stock, right? I don't think that translates very well to NFTs, and it definitely doesn't translate to a digital action figure, a picture of Spawn. When I just saw some text messages come through from some friends, and yeah, if they came over to my house, right, they would look at the display and be like, oh, that's cool. That's, that looks like that thing from Ghostbusters, maybe? Yeah, that's it. Oh, cool. Oh, there's Star Wars guy. Oh, yeah, that's Luke Skywalker. Oh, cool. Like, you need that in-person experience. That's part of buying something. When I buy this Scarlet Spider-Man action figure, there's the nostalgia of like me never having a Scarlet Spider-Man in this form as a kid. I had the other Ben Reilly figure, but not this style, seeing the articulation, seeing the paint sculpts, seeing the molding, bending the figure. Like all of this is part of the what is this now? $25 experience of buying it, and then I could take pictures of it, right? If I wanted to, I could take pictures, put them on Instagram, put them on my wall, I guess. Like, that to me, $25 is a great entry point for me to do that kind of stuff. But at $25, I'm not going to buy something that I don't have any, not just emotional tie to, but there's no experience to it. It's not a movie. I'm not having an emotional ride for 90 minutes, 2 hours, being entertained. He's telling me about buying a $25 picture or $25 wallpaper. Like, do you guys remember like when you had to buy ringtones and wallpapers? Like, that's what this sounds like. And I'll get to the comments in a second, but I saw somebody wrote in there, he's comparing toys to kids, like an NFT to my kid. He is, but he doesn't understand what he's saying. Like, the reason you take pictures of your kid is because your kid's not going to be your kid forever. They're not going to be a baby forever. You're capturing these moments, these emotional ties to those moments is what you're capturing. If my cat ate this figure, I can go buy another figure and it will look exactly the same. And it will come with all the same parts and do all the same things. But your kid will not be this version of this baby a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. So I hear the businessman in him coming out, and I hear the rationalization of we need to increase profit margin, lower operation cost. I hear all that like pouring through. It's the wolf wearing like a fake sheep fur being like, no, I swear to you, I'm a sheep. But it's like 5 feet tall and like talking to me versus the sheep are on the ground, like that. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it goes anywhere. I think if they did want to ride the NFT train, that was 3 years ago. I don't see NFTs going anywhere. It like nobody that, and I think about him in this scenario, a lot of people that make business decisions to sell a product, a lot of times they don't ask themselves, am I currently buying this type of product from somebody else? Now, if Toddy Mac is like a true believer in NFTs and he's been NFT trading for years, sure. If he's been buying digital prints off people for $50, $100, sure. Then you believe in it, so you see a vision that I don't. But like, if he's currently not doing this and has like no desire to buy digital action figures from Hasbro or Super 7, then why do you think I would buy that from you? Don't get it. And then the last thing, sorry. Last thing. Oh shit, I forgot it. I forgot the thought. It had to do with something that you guys wrote. I'll read the comments and then maybe it'll come back to me. Scroll up. Here we go. Is this guy for real? Said EC. Phil said, how many drinks does Todd have before he speaks to the public? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Toddy Mac also explains that he doesn't care if you don't like what he puts out, and it's a waste of our time and energy to complain. Just like what you like and move on. That's what I was going to talk about. That attitude is, and that also ties to Ghostbusters, which we'll get to. That kind of attitude, it works in theory. His Brussels sprout and broccoli analogy, it works in theory. But the problem is if you like a company, right? So we're going to use McFarlane. Let's say I'm the Man Collects. The Man Collects happens to like McFarlane a little bit. He has a small collection in the background of his videos. He's invested in the line as a whole, the brand as a whole. If you're putting out products that nobody's buying, right? There is that one side of the coin. They put out something, they tried it, they failed, whatever. We'll try something else. There is that side of the coin. The other side of the coin is you took dollars out of your budget and reallocated it from other things that do well to do this thing. So now when we have lesser quality McFarlane toys, when articulation's not doing as well, when they're not able to stand up without a stand anymore, when the face sculpts are looking kind of rough, you have to think about that other side of the coin. Money that could have been used on that has been being funneled into something like the digital NFT or, page punchers again. That's why we complain. Don't waste your money on that shit. Keep it over here and make the main product better and focus on that. If you do want to start something else, fine. Sure. But if the main product starts to suffer, that has to stop. The side project has to stop. Get back to the main product. Make sure that's working. Make sure the core purchasing group remains. And then maybe try the other thing. Back. Oh, that's doing well now? All right, now we can start. That's its own fan base. That can start to raise, So that's why people complain. And people like Todd, I get it. I've seen hate online when I've posted things, and you want to be like, well, F you, just don't watch my shit. But no, like if your main audience starts to suffer, you do have to take note of that. He really needs someone to be a spokesman or someone who can help him or help keep him on track. Yeah. Lose respect for him every day. Having digital pics of your kids on your phone and having an NFT are not comparable. Yeah. He's comparing a picture of my kid / a memory to a digital collectible. Exactly. He sounds like a loon. The only thing he said that made sense was, if you don't like them, make room for those who do. Not an exact quote, but that was all he needed to say in regards to the digital collectibles. Yeah, sure. GameStop had NFT collectible things, but they got out of it because it was a waste of money. Exactly. Remember the ape? It was the ape, whatever NFT. Gone. Patrick in the house. Good to see you. JB agrees with the man. Phil said, I Googled his shitty products and kept images in my gallery. Why the hell would I pay for a picture of the figure? Yeah. Why would I pay for a picture? I could just go save one off the internet. Yep. I think about that every day. As somebody who does put out stuff online, like I watermark stuff from time to time. But it's like once you put it out there, man, like it's gone. Like you put it out there, it belongs to everybody at a certain point. So like, oh, I have this really cool image of Spawn that is like, this is the only image of this version of Spawn. Isn't this cool? I guess, hang on. I just Googled Spawn and I have 1 trillion examples and pictures of Spawn. I paid $0. I paid $0. I paid my internet bill to get that. So, I mean, if you just want pics, I'll go save all the amazing customized work on IG. They blow Toddy out the water. Yeah. I don't even want to buy a real McFarlane figure. Why the hell would I buy a digital one? Yeah. He explains why he puts out so many Batman figures. And honestly, it made complete sense. Consider Batman an evergreen figure. There's always going to be a new Batman fan. I agree with that statement. Like, I was comparing it to the Roman Reigns. And that's where I was like, oh, Marvel needs to do this. And they're doing it now. Like, you have, you know, they want there to be always a Tom Holland on the shelf. Always a Tony Stark on the shelf, Iron Man. Like, you do need that. I get it. But what we've talked about before is you get to these moments where it's too niche. It's way too niche. Yeah, you want to have 50 Batman on the shelf? By all means. But if your common person doesn't understand that version of Batman, has never seen that version of Batman, and it's also almost $30, $35, the casual's not going to buy it. Evergreen is meant to grab a casual. And at a certain point, he's not grabbing casuals with his evergreen Batman figures, Nightwing figures, Superman figures. Like, it's not happening. Because again, he makes them so niche, nobody grabs it. Cutthroat in the house, good to see ya. And yeah, NetGut ready backed out of it. There you go. So that happens a lot. You know, a lot of people, a lot of creators, a lot of companies, they want to pull this card of, well, if you don't like it, it's not for you. And sure, you can do that, but you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. And if you're not growing and you're a business, then you're failing. You're losing. And I don't even mean in a hypothetical example, like legitimately. Your job as a business is to grow. And if you're not growing, then what are we doing? What are we doing? So, yeah. Toddy Mac, ladies and gentlemen.